on Saturday, you'd clinch a winning season. How important would that be to do that here at home?
Oh yeah, I mean, anytime you can have a winning season, you know, I think it's important to help you going into the off season, things like that. No question about it. But I think the goal on Saturday, it's not about clinching a winning season. It's about going out there and doing everything we can against a really, really tough, good Nebraska team to help our seniors go out winners. That's the big deal to me.
Coach, can you talk about what you saw in Allen Robinson when you first came here last year to get him as involved as you did, as quickly as you did, and also did you think when you first came here that he'd end up being the player that he is today?
No question about it. I remember we went out on the practice field the first time I was here, and he was a big guy, he was a fast guy, he was a bright-eyed guy, he was a competitive guy, and he was raw. You know, he was raw. He was a young guy and hadn't played a lot before we got here because he was a freshman. And so, but you could tell right away that he was going to be a really, really explosive, good player. And he's worked at it. Give him a lot of credit. He's been coached well. I think he's in a good system for what we do, but give him a lot of credit. He's done a great job and gone up and made some fantastic plays for us over the last 2 years.
Sort of flew under the radar, but one of the new NCAA recruiting rules is that there'll be a dead period from December 16th to January 15th. Brett Belima said that he was in favor of it because obviously as a team in Arkansas that can't go to a bowl, he felt that would help them to get as many guys on the road as they could. Obviously, you guys are in the same situation. Does that rule help you guys, and what are your thoughts on it overall?
I think it definitely helps. You know, I'm in favor of more dead periods. I think that one helps for exactly the reason that you just talked about. I think you're able to get more guys out on the road if you're not able to go to a bowl and things like that, which is, you know, that's one of your major jobs here is to be able to recruit. And so getting guys out on the road is a good thing, and getting more guys out is a good thing. I think in my opinion, there should also be a dead period in July and August. July is the time when coaches take some vacation and things like that, and then August is the time that we're trying to get our teams prepared for for the season with training camp. So I'm of the opinion that there should be a dead period in July and August too, and I think this one's good too.
Coach, Nebraska is the game changer in Deontay Evans and all the talent and the length they have in the secondary. Then it might be the most complex defense that Christian will see this year because of the blitzes that they bring from the inside and everything. Do you prepare differently because of that, or is this just another week of game prep for Christian?
No, every week is different. You know, every team is different. This team, like you just said, is very, very talented. They have tall, rangy guys, physical guys at every position. They run well. They're explosive players. They've played well, in my opinion. Recently, they've played real well. They play. I wouldn't say many times it's not the most complex. It's because the type of players they have. They play a coverage that is very, very difficult to go against, and so that's going to be the challenge for us. Is can we get open against these guys, and that'll be the big challenge. But this is a very good team. It's one of the best teams we've played, and it's going to be a big challenge for us on Saturday.
Coach, Amir Abdullah, in their ground game, they're a little banged up front. They talk about the challenge, holding him down.
Yeah. Well, even since Martinez has been out, he's become even more of a focal point for him. He's a really good player. He's one of the best players in this conference. Explosive guy. He runs with a great lean. He's got great quickness. I think he's obviously got a pro career ahead of him. He's just a really good football player, and we're going to have to make sure we know where he is on every play.
Bill, Alex Kinney is from here, and he's another one of the guys that seems like he's given up that last year. Can you just evaluate his senior season? He hasn't really gotten a lot of opportunities. Where has he been in terms of his development?
He's showed up to practice every week, Corey. He's played hard. He's practiced hard. He's done everything we've asked him to do. He's a great kid. Just a really good kid in our program, a local guy, and it hasn't probably worked out for him on the field as much as he would have liked it to, but he's done everything we've asked him to do. Can't say enough good things about Alex.
Bill, any of the guys who decided to forego their last year of eligibility, did any of that catch you off guard, or is this something you've been aware of the entire season for the most part?
Nothing catches me off guard, Josh. Really, seriously, nothing catches me off guard. No, these are things that as the year ends in college football, I think guys start deciding what they want to do, and so these conversations have been ongoing for a while, you know. And I'm of the belief that you know, these kids should have these conversations with me. They should be open dialogue and have a good, honest conversation about, you know, where they are in the program, what they've done for us as a program, and then what they want to do next, you know. And so those are the types of conversations that you have with these guys, and I'm sure going forward, other guys. I think these are conversations that come up in college every single year with potential fifth-year and sixth-year guys, and at every program in America, and that's just what's happened this year with some of these guys.
Hey Bill, can you talk about Glenn Carson's importance to this team as he gets ready for his last home game of his career?
Yeah, he's just been a big part of our program. I mean, he's an emotional leader. He's done a great job of talking to this team during the year. He's played hard. He's brought passion to the practice field, passion to the game field. You know, he's a guy that you're going to miss. You know, just like you said the same thing about Maudie last year. You know, Glenn Carson just loves the game. He'll have a chance to play pro football. And so I don't think his career is over, but you know, he's a guy that's meant a lot to our football program, no question about it.
Bill, the emotional factor of a senior day, a couple things about that. Did you feel last year against Wisconsin that you guys raised it? And also, is it unique to you? Do you like this compared to the NFL?
Yeah, it is an emotional day, and you have to be real aware of that. I remember last year, having not been really a part of anything like that, obviously. I remember, you know, shaking their hands when they came out of the tunnel, and the looks in their eyes, and there's a lot of kids with emotions because they know that this is the last time they're going to play on that field, and it kind of strikes you as a little, you know, you're a little bit older than them, that these kids are being affected by this. And then last year, you know, they put the 2012 up there, which added to it too. So, you know, I understand that. I think what we'll do is we'll introduce them, then we'll go back in the locker room, and we'll get refocused on the game and what we have to do to win the game. And that's, at the end of the day, like I said a few weeks ago to you guys, if you keep reminding them and keep them focused on what the keys to victory are, then I think that's what they focus on. But again, that will be a little bit of an emotional time for them.
Bill, do you like recruiting guys who played for their dads in high school and come from football families? And can you talk about Ty Howell and what he's meant to the line and this team?
I do. I think even in coaching, I've been associated with a lot of guys that their dads were a coach. You know, whether it was Bill Belichick or Josh McDaniels. You know, a lot of guys whose dads were coaches, and a lot of times they made the best coaches. You know, they understood it. Their families understood it. And I think that a lot of times when you look at players, sons of coaches, they're sometimes your most instinctive players. And so when you look at Ty Howell, who grew up around the game his whole life, he's got a great mom and dad. His dad's awesome. His dad, you know, gets in the car after a game on Friday night and drives to Pennsylvania from North Carolina for all these games. I mean, that's unbelievable. Dedicated to watch his son, he and his wife. So, you know, Ty's meant a lot to our football team. Ty and I have a very close relationship, and I appreciate that, and he's a guy that personally I'll definitely miss.
On a different note, kind of what, at least from what you're allowed to say, kind of from your perspective as well as the staff, how much goes into planning these official visits for these kids? You'll have some of them up here this weekend, and how does that process go? Because obviously there are a lot of people involved with it.
Yeah, it's a big process. It takes a lot of strategy, a lot of planning. Billy Cavanaugh is basically in charge of that for us, but he has a staff underneath him that works with him. And you know, I've been at other schools, and I can tell you that our official visit, I think we do a great job. You know, we involve the families, we involve all aspects of Penn State. The ones that we do during the season, the ones that we do at a game, are a little bit more difficult, but it's good for the prospect because they get to experience the Beaver Stadium crowd. You know, so that's good. It's as a coach, you don't get as much time to spend with them because you're focused on the game. And then we have one in December where we'll have, you know, I can't mention, but whatever, you know, but that takes a lot of planning, and the meals, the travel schedule, you know, how we're getting everybody here. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, no doubt about it.
Hey, Bill. I'm wondering if Jordan Lucas continues to make big plays. I'm wondering if you've noticed his unique post-play celebration with Malcolm, and just your thoughts in general on. You haven't noticed it?
No.
Your thought, can I tell you what it is?
Yeah.
From him? He
Yeah,
says
to
he's,
drop or something. they
he's
call it.
taking a selfie of himself and then Malcolm. And, you know,
Yeah. Well, we want to, I'm glad you mentioned that to me. We'll have a discussion. About that.
but the second.
I'm going to take a selfie of him.
But it's more like a team celebration. I'm just wondering
Yeah.
instead of being individual.
No, I think that our guys do. I think for the most part, all kidding aside, I believe, and I think we need to continue to improve on this and be better with this, because in the NFL, it's the exact opposite, obviously. I think our kids, when somebody makes a big play, I do think there's a good team celebration with these guys. I think you saw it with Jesse James' long run the other day, and then Jordan's interception. I want to keep it that way. That's a big part. That's Penn State. You know, I know Coach Paterno believed in that. You know, no selfish things like that. And I'm the same way. And I don't like that. So I'm hoping he's not like taking a picture of himself by himself. We'll address that with him when we get back over there. But no, he's a great kid, and he's played well for us this year, no doubt about it.
Bill, you guys have had success blitzing the corners in a few games this season. Is there a certain skill set about a guy that makes him, a better blitzer than anybody else?
Oh yeah, blitzing is an art. Blitzing is not easy. When you blitz, you can't blitz right down the middle of a blocker, and you have to have great timing, and you have to anticipate when to show it and how long to hold it. And there's just a lot that goes into blitzing. The best blitzers I've been around, like I remember at New England, Teddy Bruschi was a great blitzer because he would get on the edge of a blocker and fake him one way and get on the edge the other way, and that's what you're trying to do, and Adrian's gotten better and better at that. Another guy, like a good example from last year, Gerald Hodges. When we got here, we didn't think he was a great blitzer, but he got better and better, and he became a really good blitzer last year, and I think you're seeing the same thing with Amos.
Bill, this is a totally off-the-wall question. But,
Oh, God, here we go, Willie.
But this being the end of your second year, can you talk about the guys that prepare your field for game day every week? And they mentioned, we talked to them earlier, they mentioned that a lot of guys go to the NFL and tell them that this is the best field that they've played on. Can you comment on what they do from a week-to-week basis?
Who'd you talk to, Combs?
Combs and
beating
Mark.
his chest. Here he is. Now, Herb Combs does a great job. He really does. He's a good friend. Herb and I talk all the time about the field condition. This game field is a fantastic field. I mean, it's deep rooted. It doesn't tear up. It's got great drainage. It's basically a dry field, which is big. The grass is cut to the right length. I just think they do a phenomenal job. It's the best I've seen. When you look at that's one of the things that Penn State's known for is turf grass management. And when you look at the four majors in golf last year, 3 of the 4 had Penn State guys as the golf superintendent for that. For those golf courses, which is big. And so Herb does a great job. We're going to try to, over the next couple of years, improve our practice field. That's one, we practice all the time outdoors, and we've got to look at that one a little bit, see what we can do to improve that one. But this game field is awesome.
One of their main emphasis